All right, y'all. I want to talk about the exact strategy that got me to become a funded trader. So I can't take full credit. I mean, it is basically ICT concepts, but also key flow trades put me on trading the 4 hour chart. And just catching this big ass candle. Today was a day where because this week's price action was kind of shitty, so I only looked at the 1 hour, which is we have this 1 hour gap here and 1 hour gap up here, and I was like, ooh, I could wait for it to bounce off of it, but right at 10 o'clock, we had a nice move down still, so I got in at 10 o'clock. Out of the a 3 minute fair value gap. This is the 15 minute chart. Took it down to this low and then sold, and then once we inverse on the hour, so we candle closed below. I took it down to this London low, which is obvious, sessions indicator. But I was like, why did we inverse this gap? I went on the 4 hour and we went to a 4 hour fair value gap, if that makes sense. And then we immediately reversed off of it, and I took the third trade for a 1 to 2 in case we don't go all the way up the rest of the day. However, you could have traded this solely on the 4 hour chart. We have a lovely hammer. Because here I kind of thought it was going to be manipulation distribution up. But if you look on the 4 hour, the manipulation was the morning of. So you could have got in right at 10 o'clock and took the trade down high at the equilibrium of London and took it down to that 4 hour gap. You could literally for almost a 1 to 4. Beautiful, beautiful trade. I know key flow trades only waits for the gap into the tap into the fair value gap. So you could have just took that trade as well. I've always been the person who trades down to places and up or just down. I don't wait for it to come there because see how if I would have waited for this 1 hour one, it came down without me. Luckily, it gave a good entry, but sometimes in the 1 hour, the 15 minute, like it will close halfway to your profit, and then you just have to wait anyway, which is fair. But luckily, it closed right after. But this week has shown me like I have to watch all three. I saw that on this example I just did for back testing. I used to just watch the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and then I would go on the 15 for entries. But now I'm watching all three, and I go on the 3 minute for entries now. Because before I replayed this, we were up here at this 4 hour gap that lined up with a 1 hour gap. Once we inverted, we're going down. Obviously, I don't trade till 10 o'clock. But I thought we were going to go down to this 4 hour low, which lined up with this 1 hour low. But it was not. It bounced off of a 15 minute fair value gap. You wouldn't have known that if you only watched these two. You would know why it bounced up. So you have to watch all three. And then as you see here, we got a nice entry when we got candle close out of the gap to go up higher to the highs. And that's just it. That's just it. You have to just watch all three. And this is usually the biggest candle of the day, the 10 a.m. 4 hour candle. Sometimes it's a 2. Yeah, here. 6 a.m., 10 a.m. candle. This was one of those ones where you got in and it kind of just, you got in for this little half if you trade. But I also thought about getting in on the charts at 9. Yeah, this was the trade yesterday. The same 15-minute gap. Came back in at 10 o'clock. 8:45 had the trade. 9:45 people had this. So that's why 10 a.m. kind of helps you just avoid fake outs. So there are some days like today where 9:45 they got the top of the move, but either way we were good. Yesterday was a day that we bounced off the 1 hour chart, 1 hour for right gap, and ran up. But the 4 hour, this candle confused me, like we might want to go down this big wick. We reversed off of a 1 hour gap here, but clear signs to just buy. I didn't take that. It came back down in and then it came up. So yesterday, the 10 a.m. chart was a little better. Obviously, with daily profiles, when you're running up all day like this, you're just going to keep going. When Asian's up, London's up. But then on the 4 hour, you could see like it was clearly just going up. So, and it went up to a 4 hour target that I did have marked. I just didn't want to take the trade here to this target, which is my original target. I didn't think it was going to go up to the 4 hour high, but on the 4 hour, it did. So, you just have to look at all three. And then on other session days we just regular price action. I love sideways price action. So here, London had already swept Asian highs. I took the low down. I can make the 15-minute bigger for y'all. Here, off of a 15-minute tap at 10:45, took it down to this low. I didn't think we were going to go down to the daily low. FOMC did, but I took it down. I didn't like the London low because it was just too close. So I marked 1, 2, and 3, and we hit my third target. This one was one that was confusing. I think this is the one I got funded. No, I didn't. This is the week after I got funded. But same thing happened Tuesday too. We traded sideways. We got a market structure shift, and then 15 minute we finally we were trading sideways. We finally got our inverted fair value gap here to go down to take out London and Asian lows and PM session lows. Not the daily lows, but this is why I like to see on the 15-minute chart, because this could affect a lot of people out. I mean, a lot of people took this trade at 9:30 down to here, 15-minute gap for like the, the 1-minute traders. Then some people took it back up here. I saw this, but my entry would have been way up here. I didn't like that because this was been a target. I guess there was one more target, but still not as good enough for the move. And then I almost got in right before 10 o'clock to take the sells. And that's why I always wait till 10 o'clock, because some days you'll get in, it'll stop you out. That's where your stop loss would be, the high before the reversal, and then go your way. So I just waited for the inverted of this. And then I went on the 3-minute though at this wick. Not a strong hammer, but this move down was not really good displacement now I'm looking at, but at the time I thought it was, and I went on the 3-minute and I got an entry like somewhere up here. But you can really just trade the 15-minute chart. This was the day I took a loss because I thought we swept all this and we were going to go up and take out these equal highs. We did not. We came into an hour gap. That's why I had to say you have to look at all three. This was a tap into an hour gap, and then we ran down. But it's still not. This is not even a good move for real. For real. This wasn't a good move either, but it was a power of 3. Traded sideways, swept it to the downside, ran up. 10 a.m. It tapped us back in this 15-minute gap to play through lunch. And I usually try to stay on until 1 o'clock, so I like trading at 10 for this reason. But this is really all I trade. I just start trading not at 9:30 because for days where it does fake you out a little bit. And then I really just get on at 10 o'clock and trade, something. This was a day, 9:45. That's why I said I kind of want to get on the macros again, because sometimes the 9:45 really sets you up. But at the same time, it gives you a gap. It taps in the gap at 10 o'clock for our entry, and then you just take it back up. So you don't miss out on anything trading at 10 o'clock, and or you'll get clear answers. Okay, this was last week, the week I got funded. We kept having this. We got our reversal right at 10 o'clock, which was nice. Actually, not this day. This day we got the reversal back up at 10 o'clock in our 10 a.m. hour, which is the bigger trade of the day, like I've said many times. So yeah, I didn't take this trade. I took the trade back up. Actually, no, I didn't. I took down to it was a 4-hour gap down here. So I took down to here, and then it reversed that day. Yeah, I took these down trades and all that week. That's what happened. Okay, this is the trade that got me funded. So we got our change in the state delivery, our inverse fair value gaps, and then it went to trade sideways. Then we swept this liquidity, and then we finally pushed. But then it wound up in the afternoon again, making still the biggest candle, biggest move of the day. This is still the whole 4-hour 10 a.m. candle, but we played down and then it went back up to take up buy side. Same thing here, it zigzag. But either way, your biggest moves are going to be usually at this time frame or days like this. We got a power of 3, we manipulated, and then 10 o'clock was this candle. I got in run at 10 o'clock and took it down to like an hour or 4-hour low. But I've learned this week, like some days the 15-minute is going to be better, some days the hour are going to be better, some days the 4 hours are going to be better. And you just have to sit on the chart and react. Sit on these higher time frames. And honestly, you can trade off of the 15-minute chart. I've done it a lot of times. It honestly helped me not get faked out the best. And that's when I got funded, because I used to have a lot of these little fake outs. Where I'm like, oh, we're going down. And then no, because, if I took this trade down, my target would have been here. Stop loss here. That's not that bad of a move. But again, we get it at 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. open was here. So this, but then we didn't get it. But here, the gap is a little smaller. So you just wait. Wait for a reaction. Wait on these higher time frames, because there are days like I just back tested this last day where we were kind of just already moving up already in the 4-hour, and we were going to this high. That was on all time frames. So you just get in. And you'll just have to see which day it was. I was trying to see if I can only sit on the 1 hour, only sit on the 15-minute and the 3, you can't. Only sit on the 4. Yes, the 4 you can sit on more often than none, but I've seen the 4 make candles that fake me out. I'm trying to see if there is one. Okay, here we kind of are in this gap. We kind of came out a little bit, but I guess we came out the rest of the day. But there are some days where like the candle at right before you is very indecisive. This one was fine. It's kind of giving reversal, and then yeah, 10 a.m. you got into. We didn't take out those highs though, but to take it up somewhere. But there's just some days where the 4 hour is like not clear like this, and then you're like fuck. But then the 1 hour will be clear that day, or the 15 minute. You see what I'm saying? So you have to. Oh, and/or I learned. I just wrote it down. I don't have to trade every day, especially now that I'm on my funded account and I copy traded with my live account. I don't have to trade every day. Now I'm losing real money, so I don't. I can really wait for just really good A+ setups, and that is fine with me. I'm learning. Like when I was doing the funded challenges, I was trading every day, and there is a setup every day. Like I'm mad I actually missed that one yesterday. This one, but again, I just got scared of a 1 hour gap above like this, and thought I was gonna bounce out of it. I tried to make a market buy side or sell. So like today, I thought we were gonna go up into this one. We did not. Just wait and just see. This 1 hour candle is a big one. It wasn't like for sure a hammer, but on that 4 hour, a lovely hammer. A lovely hammer that just shows you could have entered off sales right off this. And again, good thing about the 4 hour candle, it's big. This was a big white candle at the time of our trade. And now it's blue. You see what I'm saying? So you could play both. It usually gives you both, or you could just wait for the 4 hour for value gap tap. It usually taps into something. Yesterday it did not. It just ran up. But usually it will tap into something on the 4 hour or order block, or like here's a gap that we bounced off of or targeted. We went down to all week last week. This 4 hour gap here. So you really could just wait for the bounces off these gaps if you want them. Yeah, it came down. Maybe that was our target, this gap. That day, I thought we were going to go back up to London High. The target clearly was this 4 hour gap. So that was something I should have marked and should have saw. You see what I'm saying? So you just got to watch all of them. And then you could just got in at 10 o'clock and took this little scalp down at 10 to take out these lows into this 4 hour gap. You know, like you just have to see. But the 4 hour candle is really what the 4 hour chart and the trading at 10 o'clock only really has helped me reduce fake outs, number one, and just get bigger moves. So I have to trade one time a day, and or not trade at all because I don't know where it's going. I'm not wasting on these like 1 minute sideways trades, which I used to really enjoy. I really did. But then sometimes I would just have my stop loss somewhere and it would just reverse, and then halfway through because it hit a 1 hour gap, a 15-minute gap, or some higher time frame gap that I just wasn't looking at. So that's it, y'all. Trading at Keyflow Trades has a bunch of videos on this on his YouTube channel. But yeah, just really trying to catch this 4 hour 10 a.m. candle. That's what got me funded. And then just sitting on higher time frames, the 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour before I even go down to a higher time frame. And even not, sometimes I just take a trade off the 4 hour. I've took a trade off the 15-minute if it's like super clear. Obviously, there's days where you want to go. Like yesterday's trade, you wanted to wait for an invert for value gap. Or honestly, I could have got it right at 10 o'clock. I could have. So it's like sometimes you don't even need to go to a lower time frame. I'm going to backtest this tonight. And yeah, that's really it. And there is a trade every day, but I've learned to, like with my emotions, if there's not, it's not. But like just a prime example of this where like I thought we were going to this 1 hour lows because, I mean, there's 4 hour and 1 hour lows. There's no gap in here on these time frames. But boom, we bounced off a 15-minute gap. And you got to get entry in the 15-minute. You have to wait for like, again, because this is an hour chart and a 4 hour chart. You have to wait the full hour, full 4 hour. Now, if you're waiting for an inverse or inverted gap, you do have to wait like we did today. I did get back in once we got a candle close here below the gap. Because this is an hour gap. You have to make sure the gap candle close out of or in of is with the respective time frames. So if you wanted a better entry than this, you need to go to a 15 and wait for an inverse on the 15. Wait for an inverse on the 3. You see what I'm saying? That's just how you do it, to be extra cautious. But I was going to be like, scrap my 4 hour strategy after yesterday, one day. Which is funny because days like this where it just runs up, Asian, London, and New York are so rare. They're like, they're probably like 25 to 30% of the trades. So yes, they're good enough to learn how to trade them, but they're also rare enough where you don't have to trade them at all. So I'm not mad at myself for that. Because then look at this beautiful trade we got today. So that's it. Trading just 10 a.m. No trades before 10 a.m. Obviously, yes, you might. But honestly, I like days like this where we sweep some shit before the morning and we come down and continue. But there are days where 10 a.m. comes up here to this gap, and then goes down. So it's just like you just never know what it's going to do. So just wait till 10 o'clock and wait for something. Obviously, the 4 hour today showed yes. Take it straight down to hell. And I wasn't looking at the 4 hour until we inverted this to see where my next target was. And that's fine. Still worked out where I had to take 3 trades. I would have preferred, obviously, just to take that one all the way down. But it is what it is. Still good trades. Trade down was bigger than the reversal this time. But sometimes, the second trade is bigger. Either way, they're both 2 great trades. Yeah. And that's it. That's how I got funded, and that's how I'm going to continue trading. I took a break to paper trade because I've been so emotional. I got funded. I'm so emotional, but this is what I asked for. This is exactly what I asked for to get funded. Now I can copy trade my live account, make money with my live account, so I don't need to depend on payouts, but then I can get payouts when I want. I don't have to get them every 5 days. I can just, do what I need to do. So there's that. Double click the edge to... So yeah, that's really how I got funded, y'all. So let me know if y'all want to try this out. Watch key flow. I can actually show you. It's really just his video right here, and that's what it is. And that's how he got 3 million funded and 30K payout. So I'm hoping to do the same really soon, and then I can open up the Discord for y'all, and y'all could trade this with me. But I want to get my emotions back and get some payouts before I open up a Discord. I'm not trying to be all scammy and stuff. But yeah, see y'all later.